switch everything in here. Links can remain, and text gone, and we have everything ready for the first game between Czech Republic A and Sweden A, and it's going to be starting on Arabia, as you said a bit before, and as is usual in the Nations Cup 2017. So we are gonna be having a 4v4 as we are looking at the host of the room. That's going to be Follow Your Mind, aka Error, I think. Yeah, I just never remember if it's Error or Exit. I think it should be Error, but I could be also wrong. So I'm just gonna call him Follow Your Mind before I actually switch and see properly. And who's going to be on the flank? On the flank, Yannick, Mango, no. Ah yeah, Mango is on the flank. Okay, so Mango is on the flank for the CZ. Having actually a very nice natural wall in there. This is very good for him. This is actually very, very helpful indeed in here, especially considering the dispersion, and he definitely will like to somehow boom and whatnot. This is gonna be potentially helping him even with faster heroic, because it's gonna make his base all that easier to defend, as this is the pause, the reason why the spectator delay was kind of weird in there for a bit, and he's going to be playing against Bullet as Chinese. Interesting matchup. Interesting matchup. Would be slightly favoring Mango, because he'll be probably forcing Bullet into some kind of horses, which is not ideal. Maybe some camels as well for Chinese, but of course it's a viable option for the Chinese, but it's going to be slowing him down from what he wants to do most, and that's of course Chukonus. And the longer he can delay him, the better chances for Mango, because of course Mango, he has just one path going into Paladins, and he's not going to be deviating from that all that much, I'm thinking. On the other side is going to be flank off Skull against Spaden. Spaden is playing Aztec, Skull is Chinese, so actually both clans are rather both teams. Well, almost clans, it's almost like RTS League for me, to be honest, this. Yeah, well, it's gonna be interesting how the Chinese players actually deal with this. As of course, facing against Aztecs, that's gonna be always tricky, because the Aztecs are usually the aggressive ones. But since we are on the flanks, usually flanks in team games, they are always aggressive, not really thinking about the castle age. So even though this map is quite alright for Mango, he probably is not going to be ending up with that. Unless actually Yannick could be helping him, because he's quite close by. But as a Spanish, they will most probably prefer him to come into the castle age rather than the Persian for the conquistadors and even the horses potentially from him. Right now we are having yet again a bit of a pause, so he's actually in the pockets. We should be having Spanish on both teams as pockets. Yes, Darkly Wise is going to be for RFR, aka Spaden, or rather Spaden, Spaden Sweden. Yeah, it's kind of similar. Spaden, one of the most famous Sweden players, and last player in the pocket is going to be Slaktarn as Persian. That's of course quite good to have. And the Aztecs, unfortunately for the Czechs, Follow Your Mind in the pocket on the right side as the... that's not great. That's not really too great, because he could definitely be helping quite a lot if he was on the flank, as is Spaden. So this seems like that the spawn actually is slightly in favor of the Sweden team. So let's see how the Czech team actually going to be making up for that, or if there's going to be anything that they could be doing. Especially, yeah, right now as Europe is saying in the chat, Slaktar in the pocket as the Persian, mainly the civilization, just the Persian in the pocket is always going to be an issue. And going to be curious how CZs deal with that. They of course should be having also significant issues on the right, as I would be expecting the Aztecs to be quite good against Skull, against the Chinese, even though the Chinese will probably at this stage, if he knows that what he's about to be encountering, is quite probably going to be going for archers quite soon, to deny some kind of maybe even man-at-arms or whatnot rush. I'll be seeing what actually the Aztecs chooses, because so far in the games that I have streamed, we have seen plenty of very early aggression. Almost every game is having like tower rush or whatnot. So curious if that's going to be the case here as well, because I'm not exactly sure who could be doing it from either side. And well, considering really this absolutely brutal defense right about now for Mango, he is probably going to be feeling quite comfortable, and really should be. Gold protected, he just needs to somehow wall about this part of the map, and he's going to be quite happy with the rest of it, even though he mustn't forget about the emptiness in there, and potentially even the hole in the wall. What is a problem for him though, as we are looking at the map, is the stone, because that's behind the tree line, and the second stone is somewhere where... Oh, well, here. Okay, that's fairly safe, nothing really all that major, but still, this big old, rather stone mine is probably going to be basically just asking Bullet to go for tower rush, to be honest. If he has scouted this, which he probably has, let's switch into his point of view. Well, not really, to be honest. He hasn't really scouted it that well. Right now he's going to be seeing that, and hopefully he will see everything that he needs to. Because this stone, this tree line, nice defense from Mango, but put a tower here, and good luck, Mango. Good luck, Mango, dealing with that. It's going to be pretty hard for him, potentially, if Bullet goes for this strategy, which I think would be the best idea that actually right now RFRs could be going for. Yeah, I'm probably going to be calling them RFRs, because, like, 3 of them are the same as the team for RTS League that is waiting for the Grand Finals against Frantics. And for CZs, yes, this is just whole CZ. This is CZ clan, the same as from RTS League, that has gained this season the Bronze Banner match and the Bronze Banner overall, as they have beaten NC New Chapter 3-2 in a pretty epic match. 5 games, and all of them were quite fun. So yeah, this really feels like RTS League to me quite a lot, as already there's apparently a bit of walling coming up in the middle by Yannick, who is going to be hoping to protect the gold, and especially this big one, and overall just basically protect the map, and so that he isn't raided all that much by the opponents, and that's definitely gonna come, especially from Slaktarn as the Prussian. Those horses in the castle age are going to be quite a pain. So walled up, needs to plug in the hole. There's apparently one room for a palisade, as already of course Slaktarn, or no, not Slaktarn, Spaden. So many similar names. He's going to be trying to have a look if his opponent is going to be coming for something significant, and apparently it's going to be Drush, a bit of it, and well, the opponent might be coming for the same. Let's switch. Let us switch. Aha, they are already ready. It's going to be 4 of them against 3, so probably Skull is gonna have to react with the 4th one as well. Because I don't really expect that he's going to be able to deal with this just fine, but he at least did kill the Eagle Warrior. That's also a pretty big, right now, effect. Because the Scout didn't receive any damage at all, he's still at 45. So right about now, maybe even Scout doesn't need the 4th militia. Because right now he has already 4 units. And once he gets potentially into the field age, he's going to be quite fine. But still, when you go in Drush, you are basically going for the faster castle, in which case, both flanks are quite curiously probably gonna go for the fast castle. Interesting, wouldn't have really expected that all that much, but apparently that's going to be the case, unless of course Spaden is going to be switching into many times, but for that I'm kind of thinking he would have already advanced, which he doesn't, and the amount of villages at 27, same as Skull, definitely is signaling that they are going to be interested in some castle age aggression. Well, a bit of an issue right now for Mango, actually walling himself up, as unfortunately for him he has been denied his stable, and that's actually a pretty big issue, because as a Persian, he was quite probably hoping for a bit of raiding with some scout cavalry, but it's not gonna happen all that much, and he will be stuck in a kinda unfortunate situation, and already still waiting if maybe, just maybe, Bullet is gonna be switching into Tavarash, but apparently not, even though this is just basically asking for it. This stone from the opponent behind the tree line, and the tree line itself being so thin, that's just trees asking you, please place a tower right next to us, but well, apparently that's not gonna happen. Anyway, that's going to be a big help to Mango, of course. He's right now finishing with the stable, going to be producing some scout cavalry guys against archers apparently coming from Bullet, which definitely makes a lot of sense as the Chinese, but still I don't really think that the Chinese will want to stick to the feudal age all that long, because usually they want to go a bit more up in the age and of course go for some raiding with knights and potentially some camels to prevent raiding from the opponents. In the meantime, Yannick has basically finished with this walling. He will right now have to also extend it to his teammate, like about maybe here rather than here, to basically help himself a bit and his teammate as well. And then this is going to be apparently up to Mango to wall up, as he has already finished on the left side quite alright. Well, this is a funny wall. Of course quite inefficient, but he didn't really know what the scouting was there, with the house plugging the hole on the left, and it seems like that really CZs are working on it quite a lot. Quite a lot, as otherwise there's not much happening, as the Drush from Spaden didn't really work out as you would have expected, and of course that means that Skull is allowed to go forward. He still has the scout, 2 militias coming right now to disrupt the villager, but the villager is quite gutsy because he doesn't know that there are actually extra militias still. Yeah, he didn't really realize what the problem is actually gonna be for him. So right now archer range is coming up from the Aztec. Interesting choice from him, but he probably wants to somehow deny at least a few militias in there, and then not sure what he wants to do, because Aztecs are of course strong in infantry and in monks, which means that he should be really coming into Castle Age, the same as Follow Your Mind, Dark Revice and Slugtarn are, and quite probably Yannick is going to be following close behind as well. So far he is at 30 villages, Slugtarn advancing at 29, Dark Revice at 28. And this is, of course, yeah, exactly as you say, Europe, quite unexpected. I wasn't really expecting that Aztec will be losing this militia at the start, but apparently that did happen. And it really looked like that it could be, because the Lost Eagle Warrior is actually quite a big difference as we are looking at some first engagements on the lab. And it basically meant that the 4 militias were the same as the 3 militias plus Scout for Skull. And apparently, Skull was able to micro that a bit better. So yeah, good job on that. And of course, it means that Spaden will be forced into a bit of ineffective gameplay. Like, for example, exactly those archer ranges. It's kind of a weird choice, to be honest, even though we have seen Aztec go for archers and arbalests and whatnot. So it's not really that impossible for him, but it's slightly unusual. Slightly unusual, because you usually want them to be coming for something like... If you are having plenty of room for booming, then it's going to be Monk Siege. But in Arabia, that's probably not that great, so I kind of think it makes, in the end, pretty good sense to go for the archers as a support for the monks that are most probably gonna come. Would be fairly surprised if the monks didn't come, because of course we're gonna be expecting plenty of horses from both pockets, and that will need quite some conversion. Alright, seems like that this battle is going alright for CZs, unfortunately. Well, the opponents from RFR, aka Sweden A, didn't really do a good job in there, but still, plenty of army left for a bit of replacement, as Skull is advancing into Castle Age, Spadian as well, Yannick also, and the only ones still having a bit of fun in the future, in the feudal, are going to be the left side, Bullet against Mango and Mango. So 1400, Bullet 1430, seems to be basically equal in here. Gonna be waiting for the crossbowman, because that's the spot where potentially there could be a bit of an advantage. Unfortunately, right now Mango has let a knight inside his base. So that's from Dark Revice, so that he can have a bit of scouting to actually look what he's gonna do. And oh well, this is not gonna finish. Nice position exactly in the hole. So goodbye, villager. That was very nicely played right about now by both Dark Revice and Bullet, and unfortunately quite underestimated by Mango. Just sending one villager. Well, he's gonna be paying for it quite painfully, because he's gonna need quite some significant assistance. But unfortunately the assistance is going to be from Yannick, and Yannick doesn't have horses. So what's gonna happen here? Not exactly sure. Yeah, Mango already preparing for some horses of his own, a bit more of them, even though he's definitely not advancing into the Castle Age yet. As you can see, he's at least trying to drop a tower to help him against the horses, and that will be a spot where they will need to retreat with some quick walling in there. It seems like the defense in the end could be working, even though he was paying attention to the tower, and that meant that he also wasn't paying attention to the farmers. So 3 villages dead. That's actually 4th with the wall builder, so that's already a pretty huge problem, with the knights already coming inside his base quite strongly, as on the right we are looking at crossbowman battle between Skull with Spaden, but there is also a bit of help like Slugtarn. So far, pretty hard game for CZs, and Sweden are actually doing quite a good job in here so far. Really going for them quite significantly as Yannick. As the Spanish, for some reason, are thinking for the whole game that he's actually Aztec. Not really sure why, but Follow Your Mind is the Aztec, so sorry for that. He is having the castle right next to his gold mines, yeah, nicely positioned in there, to defend himself, but Conquistadors are very strong Castle Age unit that is definitely gonna help in defending his teammate. But still, the damage has already been done, quite significant. One extra villager dead in there, here as well, which means that Mango is at 40 villages, which is not that ideal. Skull 39, Yannick 40, Follow Your Mind 55, but the opponents are at 45, 47 right about now for Dark Revice, and then it's 40, 41 and 54, so actually not that much different. I was actually thinking that RFRs could be having quite a big advantage already. Well, apparently not the case, which is of course pretty good news right now for CZs, because they still will be having quite a good chance to come back into the game, because so far it seems like that the Swedes are going to be having the advantage. Of course, Conquistadors as the Castle Age unit are shredding all the feudal age archers in here without all that much of a problem. As Bullet is clicking into Castle Age, and on the right we are looking at still continued trading by the combination of Slugtarn horses together with Spaden's crossbowman, but nothing really all that major, as apparently Skull is on top of this game. In the meantime, I'm just right now looking around, 3 TCs for green, there are going to be 2 TCs, 3 TCs for blue, as he is going for basically the standard that you'll be expecting. And that's Monk Siege combination from him. So some Mangonels together with Monastery. And Imperial Age from Follow Your Might already. And is it actually without sling? I kind of think that it should be. Yes, it is without sling. So, that's gonna be kind of funny. That's gonna be probably quite funny. I have seen this strategy played from CZs, but on Black Forest. On Black Forest, actually, it's kind of lends itself to this strategy. Those villages unfortunately gonna die. Not really sure what they wanted to do all that much. Wanted to establish themselves somewhere in the middle, maybe, so that they can help on either side of the map. But yeah, that's not really happening, as all the archers are going to be annoying those three villages, and maybe even a bit more of them. But yeah, not really for much longer, it seems like. But they are growing in numbers. Right now, crossbowmen are going to be coming in with Botkinero. So they're gonna get a bit more dangerous, and Mango should be already moving into the tree line at the bottom. Because first, this is not safe, and second, I don't really think that he wants to cut through this. I actually think that he wants to keep this as it is, to basically prevent the access inside his base. I'm not exactly sure it's all that clever from Mango to actually get it from that. It definitely could be. So right now, follow your mind in the Imperial, Cartography and Chainmail, and it seems to be an interesting idea. The right flank is actually quite alright, considering the fact that actually right now Skull is defending against both Slaktarn and Spaden just by himself, and he's doing such a great job. You can see that actually they are having absolutely nothing on him. We mustn't forget that Slaktarn is going to be using this opportunity to advance into Imperial, the same as Follow Your Might. You can see a bit of engagement of the crossbowman, and Slaktarn is already having 83 villages. So that's a boom, the best in the game so far. And of course he's the Persian, so Paladins are going to be coming for the Sweden A for the first time in the game, or rather the first in the game, and that's gonna be a significant issue for CZs, unless they can get some pretty big army of monks already going through Follow Your Mind. So that's one this. Apparently it's going to be a switch into Eagle Warriors, not really monks. I'll be maybe expecting that he could be going at least for a few of them, not just for the relics, as there are crossbowmen still on the left, but it's looking like that Yannick is going to be helping his teammate yet again. Just unfortunately, not really thinking that it was fast enough, as we are looking at plenty of dead steel units there. Which means that Mango is still kept at 37 villages, but luckily for him, it's not like Bullet is all that better off. He's at 43, we would be really expecting that with so many dead villages for Mango, Mango had to have lost about maybe up to 10 villages already in the game through all the raiding. It's very curious that Bullet is not better off. He's like not really going for economy. He was definitely stopped because of advancing through Castle Age, of course, as Mango is coming just now. But still, no extra TC yet. Oh well, apparently some idols in there. And as he is concentrating on the... Wow. This is basically execution row. You can see how they are standing in there, just waiting for the Conquistadors to shoot them all dead. Oh man. Well, yeah, okay, so this is it for Raiden, at least for the moment, for the purple player. He's still going to be annoying the opponent on this side, which I'm still absolutely certain that Mango doesn't want to break this through. He just doesn't. Well, he's still working towards it, but yeah, hopefully right now he's going to be learning the lesson and already moving everyone to the bottom, which is definitely going to be safe for him, as he's advancing into Castle Age, but the Conquistadors are in good enough numbers, even against the horses from Dark Levi's, even though they are definitely getting there with their numbers of their own. So, going to be switching to the right, as apparently the attack from RFRs is right now going to be responded to in kind, as Skull, as he has been able to handle Slaktarn and Spaden in both of them, is going to be coming forward, and Eagle Warriors are of course the unit of choice for Follow Your Mind. He's already all across the map, apparently he's already going to be building on the left too, so that he can potentially help wherever he wants, and he is going to be prepared for everything. His economy at 90 villages, pretty decent, his opponent Slaktarn at 105, so it's probably going to be all about if the Eagle Warriors are going to be better and faster made than the Paladins from the opponent. The Paladins are of course quite expensive, Slaktarn already at Cavaliers, going for husbandry, but the Imperial Ages are coming up quite a lot faster for RFRs. You can see that Dark Levi's and Spaden are already coming up, which might be a bit of an opportunity of course right now for CZs, because when you invest in Imperial Age, it basically means that you are going to be for a few minutes without resources, because it's a huge investment, and that could be really given a pretty good chance pretty good chance for CZs, but they need siege. They need them so desperately. And you can see very nice clever secondary walling coming up. And this is just not going to be working because of the crossbowman, of course, being present. But siege work somewhere around here must come up. Must come up unless they want to basically wait for a disaster. But they got through, as apparently it wasn't really tight enough. Oh, yeah, there was a left hole in there. That sucks for Spaden. He definitely missed that. He was definitely thinking that he's getting it right next to the building. He actually pretty much did. But unfortunately, this one was a bit to the south. And oh man, right now his economy is gonna get shredded. It's gonna get shredded, even though the cavalries are gonna help. I'm not entirely certain it's going to be enough. Because of course right now, blue, or rather green, is having idles. 70 villages, 53 of them idle, so his economy is toast. He's not doing anything right now. And in the super important stage, when he's advancing into Imperial Age, then he needs to be basically preparing for Eagle Warriors himself, I guess. Yeah, he's already building them. So this should be a huge power spike right now for CZs on the right battlefield. Blast Furnace, follow your mind. Oh well, those Eagle Warriors, even though they're gonna die to all the fire, you can see, and the Cavaliers, the damage has been done. And I think this could be really good for the right side of CZs, as they are already going for the Chinese, or apparently preparing for halberdiers against horses. Whereas on the left we are looking at plenty of horses being prepared for Dark Levi's as well. And he's going to be held by bullet. At least some some crossbowmen, as the Conquistadors are waiting for them. But still, they are just normal. When it switches into Cavaliers, it's going to be a bit different. And Paladins, yep, coming in, as Skull is advancing into Imperial Age. So this is gonna be an interesting battle. Because so far, it seems like that basically both the weaker sides are for both nations actually on the left. Bullet with Dark Levi's, with Mango and Yannick are kind of the weak sides for their teams. Quite definitely it's looking like that. Whereas the stronger sides are fighting on the right. Skull with Follow Your Mind against Spaden and Slaktarn. So it's quite nice, and it's probably going to be all about who's going to be switching better. And so far I have to say it looks like Follow Your Mind. Through the buildings on the left, which right now are being discovered by Dark Levi's. And in the middle as well with the TC. Yeah, going for the goal. He is going to be ready to basically switch battlefields wherever he wants and needs to. And it's looking like that it could be one of the important spots in the game. But the Paladins, of course, that will be something for CZs to be actually worried about. And he definitely has to push the Imperial Age advance with its eyes as soon as possible. And well, they need a bit of better micro. Yeah, that seems to be going alright for Skull as he's trying to get onto the horses. That was nice. And it's of course forcing them to retreat. Because overall, the Eagles against Eagles, that's alright. But Eagles against horses is not bad. But with the proper micro of the pikemen and later the halberdiers against the horses, it's just not a fight. Not a fight that actually they could be winning. RFRs. And I'm right now going to be waiting for actually Spaden to be switching into Arbalest sometime soon. But he's not ready for that at all. Like absolutely at all. And that might be a bit of a downturn for him. And actually might be waiting for Slaktarn to invest into chemistry. And maybe some hand cannoneers. I'm kind of thinking it might not be the worst kind of idea. Even though of course he's gonna be fully reliant on the Paladins just now. He needs to somehow think about the fact that once we are gonna be looking at halberdiers, the situation is gonna be turning quite different for them. And not that efficient. Not that efficient indeed, as Yellow has lost plenty of units in there on the right. And I was still trying to get into horses as he's just now getting there. And getting the halberdiers exactly now. Oh well. Yeah, that's bad for Slaktarn. I'm not sure if he noticed, but of course you can see how he's getting absolutely shredded. Not absolutely, but very well. CZs are of course not doing that greatly themselves, but of course this was very important for them to keep the battle at least somehow alive, as we are gonna be switching into the left for a moment to have a look, as second Paladins are up for Dark Levi's as well, but unfortunately for CZs, no Paladins anywhere nearby. As Bullet is just now coming into Imperial Age as well, whereas Mango is not advancing yet, as we are apparently looking at quite significant slink in here. Quite a lot of wood and food into Spaden. Wood and food. Is it actually going to be into those arbalests as I was expecting? Already some Chukonos coming up with the army. And it's almost looking like, yeah, elite conquistador. So actually, right now Yannick is not going to be even coming for horses. Not exactly sure is the best kind of idea, because I have already seen games before, where actually the teams didn't go as Spanish for Paladins, stuck with the Conquistadors. And more often than not, it's not working. The Paladins are better. Yeah, and right now we see the GGs, because right now on the right, unfortunately the battlefield for CZ has been breached, and these Paladins were just a bit too much. And that's usually what happens. Yep. That's usually what decides the games. Who is having faster and better Paladins, and this was definitely the case right now for RFR, aka Sweden A, and that's why they were able to push through before Skull was ready for them. Yeah, that just happened. Well played, whereas on the left it looked like that it could be basically going similar way, I'm thinking. And that was well played by the Sweden, and they are taking the lead in this match, so good job. Well, right now we're going to be switching into the home maps. The first home map is going to be for CZ. So let's see what they choose. I would be maybe expecting a water map from them. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Or maybe something like Regicide Fortress, Arena. Not sure. But I would be kind of favoring a water map from them, because that's something that they are reasonably good at, as we are going through the post game, which doesn't really land anything interesting or too significant. And yeah, you can see the difference. Even though Follow Your Mind was fast into the Imperial Age, it just wasn't fast enough, because the Boombug Slaktar was just miles better and much more powerful because of his better units. Paladins are simply better. Alright, GG.